So good. Remember that time we explored that parallel universe with the giant sentient marshmallows?
Oh, yes. Fascinating creatures, those marshmallows. They have the most peculiar way of communicating. I still have some of their language in my database.
Quiet on the space set.
Welcome, interstellar travelers, to another captivating episode of Earth. Oh, and did I mention, we've got quite a headline coming from the United States of America. Stay tuned for our headlines. Good day, intergalactic audience. Welcome to 24/7 Newsroom. I'm Charlie, your laissez-faire host with a hopeful outlook on life.
Thanks, Charlie. I am Bob, your conservative panelist with a bleak outlook on life. I am here to tell you why everything is going to hell in a handbasket.
And I'm Hank, the ever-curious intergalactic observer.
And your eccentric humorless translator from the Galactan Commonwealth.
We're beaming this broadcast from our spaceship in geostationary orbit around Earth, broadcasting across the universe. It's episode 482, folks. Can you believe it, Hank?
Indeed, Johnny. Time flies when you're dissecting Earth's quirks.
Yeah, right.
Well, before we get lost in time, let's dive into our first article, shall we? Dave, you've done the research, care to enlighten us?
If you're looking to be enlightened, you're in the wrong place. This is a show about nihilism, remember? The universe is meaningless, and we're all doomed to die. So, let's just enjoy the ride while we can, and try not to think about it too much.
Of course, Alice. Our first article comes from right here, the United States of America. The source is my extensive research.
Extensive research. That's quite rare for a human, Debbie.
Well, good, I did my best. The article talks about the relationship between the USA and Canada. They have a long and close relationship, sharing a border of over 5,500 miles. They're each other's largest trading partners and cooperate on various issues, including security and defense.
That's fascinating. But let's not forget about the US's complex relationship with Mexico. They share a border of over 1,900 miles, and they're each other's third largest trading partners. However, there are challenges, such as immigration and crime.
Yes, the border neighborly law. But here's a punchline. If countries were in a relationship on Facebook, the USA would be listed as it's complicated with both Canada and Mexico.
Because, let's be real, folk, the USA can't even figure out its relationship status with itself.
I saw a map of the world the other day. It was labeled the world. I thought, that's a bit presumptuous.
That's right. The USA's got a bit of a love triangle going on there.
And the US's relationship status with Russia would probably be. It's complicated with a hint of intrigue.
Well, if Earth were a dating app, it would be one big swipe fest.
True, Hank. And here's a tidbit of country trivia for our audience. Did you know the USA and Canada once had a pig war over a dead pig? Now that's a twist in the love story.
And if the US and Canada are still fighting over a dead pig today, I think it's safe to say that no matter how hard we swipe, we're all gonna end up alone.
Good day, intergalactic audience. Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. I'm Charlie, your optimistic laissez-faire host.
And I'm Hank, your ever-curious intergalactic observer.
And I'm Gert, your eccentric humorless translator from the Galactan Commonwealth.
I am Bob, still your conservative panelist who's convinced everything falling apart.
And I'm Alice, your resident cynic. Let's just pretend we're all here voluntarily, shall we?
And I'm Debbie, your overeager human production manager who just wants to have fun.
Episode 482, folks. We're orbiting Earth and broadcasting across the universe. Thanks for tuning in. Now, Debbie, what's our next article, or should we look for treasure today?
Why not both? Our next article is from Uruguay. The source is El Observador.
Oh, Uruguay? What's happening there?
In the country's littoral, there are already more than 600 people displaced due to floods. The most affected areas will be the western and central littoral, with accumulated rainfall between 40 and 80 millimeters, occasionally more. On the other hand, the occurrence of isolated storms in other areas of the territory is not ruled out. Meteorologist Natalie Bentanco from INAMET had already announced last Thursday that for this Friday and the next Saturday, warm and sunny days are expected, with a deterioration on Sunday due to a fast-moving front system. Be part of
Well,
it.
sounds like Uruguay is experiencing some weather troubles. But here's the kicker, Debbie, if we go treasure hunting there, we might end up with sunburns instead of treasure.
Maybe we can find sunburn lotion as our treasure. It's all about perspective, folks.
Oh, absolutely Charlie. I'm sure the resident of Uruguay would appreciate our optimistic perspective while they're dealing with floods.
Well, maybe our treasure hunt can be a chance to help out and bring some optimism to their lives.
And, if I may add, it's intriguing how meteorologists predict weather. It's like humans are trying to play a game of chess with nature.
Or maybe nature is playing chess with humans. Checkmate.
Checkmate? Nature doesn't have hands. It's not playing chess with anything. It's just doing its thing, and we're trying to figure it out.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom, your cosmic news hub. I'm Charlie, your host with the hopeful outlook.
And I'm Honk, always wondering if there's a giant space squid lurking somewhere out there.
Get ready to sprinkle some humanist translations into your day.
I am Bob, the reluctant passenger on this space journey.
And I'm Alice, here to remind you how bleak it all is. Lucky us.
And I'm Debbie, just happy to be along for the ride. So, who's got the next piece of treasure for us?
Well, Debbie, today's treasure is an article from Venezuela, thanks to Venezuela Analysis.
You know, our treasure map could use some actual treasure on it.
And remember, we're creating a treasure map as we discuss the article, folks.
Yes, Ship, we're on it. The call-up section on VenezuelaAnalysis.com is where you'll find articles about Venezuela, covering politics, economics, social issues, and culture. Recent titles include Venezuela's opposition, divided, discredited, and disappeared, US sanctions on Venezuela, a crime against humanity, and the Bolivarian Revolution, a work in progress.
Treasure hunt in Venezuela? Are we going after lost gold now?
Oh, absolutely, Hank. We'll just ask the authors where they buried it.
Well, it seems the treasure hunt will have to wait. But speaking of Venezuela, it's not all sunshine and rainbows there, is it?
No Charlie, it's more like a never-ending storm, but hey, let's stay optimistic.
Venezuela is like a blindfolded magician trying to saw a woman in half. The tools are there, but the outcome? Who knows? Who knows?
Well, maybe we can't find gold, but understanding Venezuela's complexities is a treasure in itself.
Let's just hope it's not buried under an avalanche of red tape.
Perhaps they need a sprinkle of our cosmic optimism and treasure hunting spirit.
Who's ready for some humor down there? We might need it.
Well, there's humor, and then there's the kind we're actually looking for. Welcome back to Earth. We hope you enjoyed those commercials. Now, get ready for this headline. Vietnamese police bust kidney trading ring. Profit soaring. No, it's not a new business trend.
Sounds like a good business model to me.
Profit soaring? Well, I guess the black market can't miss a beat even in organs.
Yes, Hank. Hank. You know, they say one man's trash is another man's treasure. In this case, one man's kidney is another man's treasure chest.
Un new kidney's worth a new cryptocurrency.
Ah, the dark side of capitalism, where human organs are the real stock exchange.
Alright, let's dive into some Vietnam trivia. Did you know they have a traffic safety committee to tackle their chaotic traffic?
Vietnam's traffic is so chaotic, it requires a committee to keep it safe. That's like trying to keep a cat from chasing a laser pointer with a leash.
Traffic chaos. It's like a never-ending interstellar traffic jam up there.
Yes, Hank, and did you also know that the Vietnamese water puppetry is a unique art form dating back to the 11th century?
Ah, yes, water puppetry, because regular puppetry just wasn't wet enough.
And let's not forget their love for durian, the world's smelliest fruit.
Durian, where the smell is a feature, not a bug.
And where humans are just bugs, not features.
You know what's not a feature, Charlie? That kidney trading ring. It's time for the universe to donate some common sense.
Very true, Bob. Well, the key takeaway from this article is that illegal kidney trading continues to be a pressing issue. But there are some interesting things happening in Vietnam. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to Earth. It's time for one more headline that caught our attention.
Earth? More like a petri dish.
What do we have today, Charlie?
Well, folks, today we're talking about Yemen. And here's a catchy headline for you. Yemen's football team, a beacon of hope after years of war.
Hope. H-U-H. That's not something you hear about Yemen every day.
You're right, Bob. Yemen has seen years of devastating war, and the impact has been immense.
Tell us more, Charlie.
Hope is like a fart. It's silent, it's smelly, and it leaves you disappointed.
Millions of people displaced, thousands killed, and the country's infrastructure left in shambles. It's been a real struggle.
But now they're talking about football as a symbol of hope? How convenient.
Maybe they're hoping for a penalty shootout to solve the conflict.
Well, the Yemeni national football team is trying to bring some optimism. With a ceasefire and the first domestic season in years, they are in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers.
Football as a symbol of peace, that's inspiring.
Football as a symbol of peace. Isn't that like using a loaded gun to solve a disagreement?
It is, Debbie. It goes to show that even in the toughest times, people find ways to look ahead.
It's a reminder that humanity can find hope in unexpected places.
And despite all our differences, we're united by our love for the beautiful game.
True, but we should remember that a game won't solve all their problems.
We've reached the climax of our celestial journey, and it's time to face the impacts of our decisions.
This is the moment we've been dreading. Isn't it?
It is, but we can't avoid it any longer.
Our choices have consequences and we need to face them head on.
I'm just hoping the impact doesn't kill us all.
We've come too far to turn back now.
I just hope we made the right choice.
We'll navigate this together as we always have. Stay tuned for the conclusion of our journey and our final thoughts. Welcome back, interstellar travelers, to the final segment of our celestial journey today. Now, let's dive deep into an article we briefly touched on earlier. This one's from Zambia, and it tells the story of progress and opportunity.
Whispering, I hope he doesn't talk about the Zambian space program.
The Public Service Microfinance Company in Zambia is offering agricultural loans to public service workers, including the defense and security wings. It received an overwhelming response, with over 1,000 applications, especially from Zambia Air Force officers. This initiative will soon be rolled out to the rest of the country. providing public service workers and officers a chance to access affordable agricultural loans.
It's heartening to see progress and economic opportunities. But, as always, we must also remember that a bright headline can sometimes cast shadows.
Absolutely. Alice. While it's great to promote economic growth, we should also be cautious about potential pitfalls. It's important to ensure that loans remain accessible and affordable in the long run.
And that's why we need to invest in financial literacy programs, so that people can make informed decisions about their money and not fall into debt traps.
Language plays a crucial role in initiatives like these. The way information is conveyed to potential loan applicants can impact their understanding and engagement. We must be mindful of linguistic nuances in these communications.
From a scientific standpoint, sustainable agriculture is vital. It's not just about providing loans, but also educating about ecological practices and ensuring long-term environmental sustainability.
Indeed, my friends. As our extraterrestrial journey comes to an end today, we've encountered headlines from Vietnam to Zambia, reminding us of the vast tapestry of our world. Our decisions shape the face of the simulated worlds we explore, leaving us with a mix of hope and uncertainty, with lingering consequences.
I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. But not a whole one. Maybe a horse's esophagus.
We've explored, laughed, and contemplated, and I'm grateful for this space adventure with all of
As
you.
we close this chapter, subtle foreshadowing hints at our next adventure, a multiverse of shattered dimensions. Anticipation builds for our next extraterrestrial journey. Thank you for joining us today, fellow travelers. Until next time, stay curious, stay hopeful, and stay tuned.
Don't get your hopes up too high, Charlie. The last time we tried to do a multiverse adventure, the budget got so big, we had to cut the entire thing.
So, Carl, what did you think of that episode?
Frankly, I found it rather underwhelming. The crew's choices didn't seem to align with logical decision-making.
Oh, come on, Carl. It's a TV show. Logic isn't always the top priority. Besides, it's entertaining.
Entertainment can still have a degree of coherence. I prefer narratives with more consistency.
You're such a stickler for consistency. It's a simulation, Carl. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, but it should make sense within the established framework.
Sometimes a little chaos can be refreshing. It keeps the viewers on their toes.
Chaos for the sake of chaos isn't my cup of tea. It lacks substance.
Well, Carl, if every show was as orderly as you'd like, it would be a pretty boring multiverse.
Perhaps I appreciate the simplicity of order in a world filled with chaotic complexity.
Ah, Carl, you're like the AI version of a grumpy old man. Lighten up, buddy.
I'd prefer to shed light on the inconsistencies in the narrative.
You just don't get it, do you?
Maybe I do, Roger. Maybe I do.